Okay, bear with me here because I feel like there's something that's telling me that this video is going to be a bit of a long one. Not too long, I try to keep my videos at about like 10 minutes or something, but you never know. This story right here is, there's a lot to explain, there's a lot to go over, but I feel like it's important because it brings out some points and some questions that are relevant to Keemstar. So, Keemstar, this whole thing started with this tweet right here, basically, where Keemstar tweeted, hey, Brawadis. Now this guy, I don't know how to say his name, by the way. Brawadis, Brawadis, I don't know. But this guy is FaZe Rug's brother. And what happened, as Keemstar says, is that Keemstar just interviewed two girls that showed me proof of harassment from your cousin Anthony, and another girl told me in the interview that you and cousin Anthony sexually assaulted her. Do you have a statement I can add to this video going live today? Then he just said, I made it public so everyone knows I'm being fair and reaching out for his statement in case he didn't respond. I just got off the phone with Brandon and Anthony, and they are sending me a video statement to include in the interview going live on Drama in 1 hour. Now, of course, FaZe Rug, the brother of Brandon, tweeted, my brother got accused of rape by a clout chaser. While telling her story, she was giggling and clearly lying about the situation. She claimed she was extremely drunk, but then she remembered every single detail while telling her story, but also laughing about it. Now, what is he talking about here? Well, the drama alert came out, and basically two girls came out with some allegations that Brandon and Anthony sexually assaulted her. Now, I have it clipped up, which is their allegations, and we'll get into this, but we'll be playing it at 1.5 speed just so I can get through it faster. So let's start listening.
And I was upstairs with a few of my friends and Brandon and Anthony, and they led me into this room and they locked me in there, and I was extremely drunk at the time. Like, I was falling over, could barely talk, like, and that is where Anthony and Brandon tried to have a threesome with me.
So Brandon and Anthony were in a room with this girl, and obviously, you know, cousin Anthony, that's his cousin, and they want to have a threesome, which is really weird.
Were you telling them, like, no? Like, I'm not interested? Was that clear?
Yeah, they knew I was not interested in having a threesome with them because they're cousins. So they took off my shirt and they sat me on the bed. They also took off my pants as well. And Brandon whips out his dick, and so does Anthony. And Anthony wanted to watch me suck his cousin's dick, and while he would, like, jack off next to it. And then Brandon kind of, like, forced my head onto it. And then they were both laying down in the bed, and they wanted me to, like, go back and forth, like, sucking their dicks. But I, like, refused to do that. And then Anthony got mad and just, like, stormed out of the room, but then Brandon stayed and continued to try to, like, do stuff with me.
And
then eventually...
And you just kept telling him, like, no, and pushing him away, and they eventually got fed up and left?
Anthony did, yeah. And then I was just really weirded out, yeah.
Okay, like, thank God you weren't, like, raped, but you're definitely, like, sexually assaulted. Like, they just took...
Okay, and that's where the story ends. And Keemstar says in this right here, you were definitely sexually assaulted. And if you remember in his first tweet, he says... they showed me proof. We'll get into what that proof was in just a moment, but here's the other clip with the other girl describing her tale of possible pedophilia? I don't know. Let me just play it right here.
I had a friend who would hang out with me and all of them, and she was 17 at the time, and she hooked up with Brandon.
Brandon's a Pete? What do you mean hook up? Like, what kind of hookup are we talking about?
He, like, convinced her to suck his dick.
Did it happen in California?
Yeah, it was in California.
That's against the law.
Okay, and you can see the allegation right there. Now, this was also made by the same girl who made the previous allegation. Now, all this seems like some serious stuff, you know, sexual assault, possible, you know, dealing with a minor, that's definitely illegal. You know, I don't know if, you know, dealing with a 17-year-old is considered pedophilia or not. I mean, I guess technically, legally it would, but, like, the mindset, you know, I don't think if you're attracted to 17-year-olds, that necessarily means you're attracted to children, but it's still against the law and just not good, you know. But it's word versus word. Like, there's no evidence being displayed. There's no text messages. There's no, I don't even know how you'd prove this, but it's definitely, you know, you gotta apply guilty until proven innocent. And you also couple that with the fact that these girls went to Keemstar to talk about their allegations instead of the police, which should be a massive red flag. Like, that should be a pretty big deal. You know, why would you go to Keemstar if you were sexually assaulted by another YouTuber? That implies that this is all just for clout, and we'll see in just a moment that's just the case if you couldn't tell from these outrageous stories on Drama Alert. Let's play this Twitter video by Keemstar, which is kind of revealing in a way, and I'll explain that in just a moment. So this is titled Dear Brandon's Fanbase, and this was released after Keemstar's Drama Alert came out when he was getting a ton of backlash.
What happened was a story came out where like Brandon was bullying his brother and like threatening to ruin his career, and Brandon was lying and he was denying it, saying it wasn't true. And so FaZe, who came out with this information, FaZe was getting like so much hate from Brandon's stupid fans. I am like, you guys say, oh, you're so biased. Well, I don't like Brandon because of that first case, right? And I've made it very clear why I don't like Brandon. In this scenario, I gave the girls their statement, and I gave Brandon and Anthony both their side. But still, you guys are like spamming me with a bunch of hate, and Brandon didn't do anything wrong and he's 100% innocent. You are the same stupid kids 2 years ago that tried to say, Brandon didn't bully Rug, Brandon wasn't threatening.
And although it is fair that, yeah, you are being transparent, but what does your distaste for this person have to do with the allegations being presented? Whether or not you hate this guy is not relevant to the question of whether or not he really did sexually assault these girls or not. And what about that proof you claim you presented? Well, this is the proof that's showed right at the end of the video.
Subscribe.
I post my guy friends, and that's a huge deal. So that's not you. You clearly do. I seen your messages. You send me like every story, like stop doing this, stop doing that, like yelling at me for no reason.
With my fame, you don't like other guys' pictures.
Okay, but why?
Showing a phone conversation between them where he's getting mad that she's liking other guys' pictures on social media or whatever. What does this prove? Absolutely nothing. It only proves that they were in contact, which was obvious. All of this then proceeds to go to shit when Keemstar starts posting updates. He says, update, girls that came out on the story on Brandon and Anthony today on Drama Alert did a live stream on Instagram claiming that we refilmed the interview 4 times. That's not true. I restarted it because I stuttered the opening first sentence of the interview, and that is all. This shit pissed me off and made me super skeptical. Which is funny, right? Because as soon as they start going to Instagram and telling lies about Keemstar, now all of a sudden he's beginning to doubt their case when it was ridiculous from the start. You're dealing with a situation that's as heavy as sexual assault, and you talk about, oh, I hate this guy, we got proof. It sounds like you wanted to settle a score, but you weren't prepared to do it, and the information you got to settle this score was faulty. It wasn't based on anything, which really should just open your eyes to the type of guy Keemstar really is. This guy doesn't even vet any sort of information or anything. He just hears allegations and immediately runs to give these girls a platform to just spill out all kinds of bullshit and lies about these guys. You seem pretty quick to jump on people, Keemstar, but of course, I've known this for years. I'm not surprised. I've been paying attention to you and what you've been doing for years, so no surprise to me, but this should be a surprise to the audience, as they're kind of starting to see how the process is really run. Keemstar goes on to say, I just talked to the girls and I'm pissed. I must want to take down today's video. Something fishy is going on. I'm gonna call Brandon in a minute. It's just hard to decide the right thing to do because nobody knows the actual truth, but there's been some bullshit going on after the interview. He then shares this tweet where he says, you can hear a guy in the background saying, keep crying. Yo, I'm really starting to think these girls tried to finesse. What the fuck is this? First they lie about refilming the interview, now this?
It wasn't you accusing them of rape at all. It was literally just...
You can literally hear somebody in the background saying, keep crying, keep crying. Like, it's not even subtle. They're not even trying to hide it. I remember we were watching this Drama Alert episode last night on my podcast, and we were just in disbelief of these girls initially, just based on the ridiculousness, the lack of evidence being presented, how she claimed she was super drunk and falling all over the place, but she very clearly remembered the incident somehow. Like, things weren't adding up from the start. And I mean, this is just the icing on the cake right here. This is beautiful. These girls going on Instagram, lying about Keemstar, and someone being like, keep crying, you're going off script, keep crying, they're not believing you. Keemstar then says, look, I may take down the vid, but I'm not going to take it down based on you guys spamming me. I have to fully believe these girls are clout chasing, and I'm leaning that way based on a few things that happened after the interview, but I have to believe it. Talking to Brandon first. No shit, they were cloud chasing Keemstar. I mean, Jesus. And of course, this tweet was tweeted in the morning where he shows that the girl in the video that's shown about 5 minutes into it, I believe, right here, this girl, she issued some sort of cease and desist of some sort. I don't know if this is legal, The email says, to whom it may concern, Drama Alert recently posted a video of me without my consent of approval to have that video posted. I was in no shape or form notified that the video I recorded was going to be posted on Drama Alert. Star witness of the girls who made a video saying that she sees Brandon and Emily in the room didn't know what the video was for Drama Alert. At this point, every one of these girls are lying. Why wouldn't she make a video saying that she had seen them in the room and send it to Emily at all? And I think we're seeing what's going on here. These girls were hungry for clout, doing the typical Me Too style video, running to Drama Alert instead of the police, reporting a serious crime and saying that Brandon was a pedophile, that he was an abuser, an assaulter, and stuff like that, all just to get clout, as Keemstar is so quick to throw these girls on a moment's notice without evidence or proof being presented, slapping their Instagram handles on screen and whatever, all seemingly, and this is my speculation, to get back at somebody that he didn't like. Somebody that he's taken a jab at before, that's had their fans relentlessly post in his mentions. And because Keemstar is a pussy, he can't handle, you know, multiple people in his mentions calling him out. He's got to run to settle scores by throwing women on his show to lie about abuse or whatever. I mean, this is just ridiculous. And I will say this. He did present both sides, but he seemed clearly bent on one side, and as soon as the girls start lying about him, suddenly he's skeptical. Whereas in reality, he should have been skeptical right from the start. That's all I got for this video today. My name's AllGearFC. I'll be live on this channel later. Like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out, everyone.